Could it be? For me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the Skill Game, brought to you by Sleeper. We'll get to the Sleeper app here in a bit, but before we do that, we've got a doubleheader on Monday Night Football to cap off week 9. We'll start with the first game of the night, Buffalo at Atlanta, and then we'll trickle into Washington hosting the Chicago Bears. I want to make sure I give the first game of the night some love right now because I know myself and I know you all, and we're not going to care about that game later on tonight. So there won't be any recap of this game. There won't be really any mention of the first game of the night. Even if it's a thrilling game, we won't care because the Commanders would have played. And however that game turned out, win, loss, lose or draw, we're going to want to talk about that and only that. So I know how that's going to go. I tried to do that last year when the Commanders played during a doubleheader, and it did not turn out well. And I'm not going to play myself this year into thinking that we can do both. So going to handle that game right now because this is probably the only time we're going to talk about it today. So Buffalo bouncing back from a loss last week at home on Sunday Night Football against New England. That's their motivation this week. They come in at 4-1, looking to be the first 5-win team in the AFC this season, the only 5-win team in the AFC after 6 weeks, if they can get this win on the road versus Atlanta. They're pissed off. They know that they have a real challenge on their hands now in the New England Patriots, who won again on Sunday versus New Orleans Saints. They're now at 4-2, if I'm not mistaken, on the season. So a loss would drop them to a first-place tie. Meanwhile, a win would keep them atop not only the AFC East division, but the entire conference as a whole. So we feel like this is an opportunity for them to get back in the win column, get back right against a Falcons team coming off of a big win themselves. I mean, the sky was falling just 3 weeks ago after they got shut out by the Carolina Panthers. They bounced back the following week, beat the Washington Commanders, got back to 500, hit their bye week, come off the bye, and they're hosting the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football at 2-2. Can they get over 500 and all of a sudden what is a very competitive division? We looked at this division before the season started, thought it was a 2-team race between Atlanta and Tampa, but here comes Carolina inserting themselves into the conversation now at 3-3. Can the Falcons leapfrog those Panthers with this win over 500 at 3-2 and get themselves one game, well, a game and a half back of Tampa Bay in the division? They've already lost to Tampa, if you remember, week 1 at home. So you don't want to fall behind too far if you have any intentions of trying to win the division. This is a big one at home for the Atlanta Falcons. Can they get it done fresh off of the bye week? So let's talk about the game itself. I look at this game with these two teams, and I just start with Buffalo. Buffalo's the better team. Buffalo should win this game if they take care of business. They've had a myriad of injuries that just about every team in the league has had to deal with. But their main guy, Josh Allen, is healthy. And if he's playing, they've got a shot to win every single game. And they turned the ball over last week. They made a bunch of critical errors and mistakes, and they had to pay for those mistakes. If the Bills are able to play clean football, really what it boils down to here is you've got a two-headed monster on offense if you're Buffalo. Josh Allen and James Cook. Those are the two guys that need to touch the football the most. You let those two operate. You get James Cook in space, you get him enough touches, and good things happen for that Bills offense. And again, this is a Falcons defense that doesn't stop the run very well. Let me add that. So this should be a James Cook type of night where you look up and James Cook has 137 yards rushing to go along with, 22 yards receiving, and he's got 2 or 3 touchdowns on the night. This feels like that kind of affair. If you're Buffalo, that's what you want to turn it into at least. And then you let Josh Allen do what Josh Allen does off of that run game, right? Find those tight ends, distribute the football to the various receivers that you have on the field, and just keep the Falcons defensively off balance. This is not a great Falcons defense. They don't generate a ton of pressure on the quarterback. And so there should be space and opportunity for the Bills to operate offensively. The key is to eliminate the mistakes. This is, however, an opportunistic Falcons defense. And if you make mistakes around their secondary, specifically Jesse Bates III, or any of those safeties for that matter, the young guys, Billy Bowman or Xavier Watts, they will take the football away. It's what they do back there on the back end. So you do have to be careful if you're Josh Allen, of leaving one up there, putting it in a poor spot, etc. You don't get another opportunity against this secondary. So take care of the football. Don't put it on the ground. No special teams blunders. Stay away from the penalties that keep you in these third and extremely long situations. And if you can do that, if you're Buffalo, if you just eliminate the mistakes, you should come out victorious in this game because you are the better team. Meanwhile, if you're the Atlanta Falcons, this is a Bills team that's a bit shell-shocked after the performance last week. They were shredded by Drake May and that Patriots offense. You can throw the football against Buffalo, right? That's a defense that doesn't generate a ton of pressure, right? They're still searching for answers there. When they're good at generating pressure. But when they're not, they're a team that will and can and will give up opportunities for you to push the football down the field. Now, your quarterback is going to have to be mobile. You're not going to be able to just stand back there and build a house. And we know Michael Penix Jr. is one of those quarterbacks that can run, but for some strange reason refuses to leave the pocket. So this is one of those nights where he's probably going to have to get out, extend plays to be a passer, not necessarily to look to be a runner, which is not something he looks to do very often anyhow. But he's going to have to get out of the pocket. He's going to have to look to extend plays. And then he's going to have to find guys down the field when plays break down. If he can stand in the pocket, if they can protect him well enough where he can stand up in the pocket and survey the field, he's coming off of his career best 313 yards on just under 80% completion percentage in his last outing versus the Commanders. So he was red hot in that game. He got going to Drake London and Kyle Pitts and spread the football around judiciously, was able to be really accurate when they needed him to be. And then we know Bijan Robinson is the engine that powers this Falcons offensive vehicle. If he gets going, if he's able to impact the game, and he can do it in various ways. Last time out, 100 yards receiving for Bijan Robinson. It doesn't always have to be on the ground with him. So you have to get him going in this game. And if you're able to do that, it'll open up everything else. It'll make life so much easier for Michael Penix. Even if that's a simple swing pass out of the backfield to Bijan and he does the rest. Get some blockers out in front, makes a guy miss and off to the races. Whatever that looks like, you want to get him matched up against this really banged up Bills linebacking core. See if you can't get a mismatch and work it, right? Like there's so many ways you can try to attack this Bills defense. But ultimately, what I see happening in this game is Buffalo's just too much, right? And I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I do think Buffalo is going to they're going to come out, I think, a little sluggish. They've had a lot of time to think about this. Falcons are coming off of a bye week. That could hurt them. Sometimes coming off a bye isn't necessarily the best thing. That crowd is going to be raucous in Atlanta after the win 2 weeks ago. It's Monday night. They're going to be amped. So I think the Bills come out slow a little bit, sluggish, but then they rev it up. And by the time we get to halftime, they've established the lead. You get into the second half and they start to run away. I've got the Bills winning this game 31-20 over the Atlanta Falcons. But at one point, it's 31-13. Falcons get a late garbage time touchdown. And that's how you get to the final score of 30. Matter of fact, 31-19. They're going to go for two when they score that touchdown. It's not going to mean anything, and they're going to not get it. And they're going to lose the game 31-19. So I've got the Bills winning that one. So then we go to the nightcap of the doubleheader. And I guess they're staggered. I wouldn't call them necessarily doubleheaders. They're not back-to-back, but still, they're on at different times. Simultaneously, they will be on. So the second game of the night, the Commanders hosting the Bears. This is a big game, and not just because of what it means for these two teams who are fighting for supremacy in their individual divisions, but it's also a lot of storylines in this game. Number one versus number two pick from last year's draft. You've got the walk-off, Washington walk-off, aka Bear Trap, aka Noah's Ark from last year, one of the biggest plays in the NFL regular season last year. And that ending was just truly crazy. And so everybody wants to talk about that. I know Bears fans don't want to talk about that. And I know the Commanders are over it, right? They're like, okay, that was last year. So there's that. And then, there's the storyline of Ben Johnson and how he did the Commanders organization. That still hasn't gone away fully. And so there's a lot here that you could nitpick at if you are just looking at this game from afar. But if you just get onto the field, this is a Bears team, winners of 2 straight. They have come off their bye just like Atlanta is. And so they're feeling really good about themselves. They look up, the Lions just lost, right? So there's an opportunity to gain some ground there, close the gap, if you will, and see if they can't get into this race at 3-2 with a win. That'll be 3 straight after starting the season 0-2. And you're right there. The Lions are 4-2. The Packers are 3-1-1. So you're right in the mix. If you can get the win, make it 3 in a row, and establish yourself as a team to be reckoned with in the conference and in that division. Conversely, the Commanders have had this up and down season. 1 week they win, the next week they lose. 1 week they win, the next week they look bad and they lose. Last week they won. Can they finally establish some consistency? This is an opportunity for the Commanders. For the first time after a win, they're going home. Usually when they win, it's at home. They go on the road, they lose. Well, this is their first opportunity with a win to go home and try to make it 2 in a row. Can they finally successfully do that and start to establish some sort of consistency? Right now, they're at 3-2 with both Dallas and Philadelphia losing this week. There's an opportunity for Washington to create distance between themselves and Dallas, which is 3rd place, right? And then get a share of 1st place with Philadelphia, who's 4-2 on the season after their loss to the Giants. So a lot on the line for Washington, but more importantly, a chance to establish some consistency, something they've lacked this season. And if they can start to do that, they feel like they're going to get healthier here over the next couple of weeks. So a win here would go a long way in catapulting the Commanders into a different conversation amongst NFL purists and fans everywhere. So this is a big opportunity for the Commanders. The last time they were on a primetime stage, it did not go well for them. That left a nasty, bad taste in their mouth. Can they exercise some of those demons tonight and take it out on the Chicago Bears? So let's talk about this game. If you're the Bears, you come into this game and you want to try to take advantage of the Commanders' pass defense. It's been the one thing defensively that they haven't done well, especially giving up explosive plays. Their zone coverage is extremely soft. Guys are usually wide ass open. They have had issues communicating in the back end. So you've had breakdowns where guys are running wide open. And if you're the Bears, if you can protect Caleb Williams, you have the talent advantage. They can't cover Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, the 2 tight ends, and Burden the third, Luther Burden the third, all at once. They just have too many weapons, too much offensive firepower for the Commanders to keep up with them if they can do the little things correctly, not miss open opportunities, protect Caleb Williams, stay away from the penalties, things of that nature. If they can play a clean game, they will be in this game with a chance to win because offensively they have enough. But the question is, can they do those things? Will they do those things? Will they be able to establish some sort of run game? If they can do those things, they have a really legitimate shot of walking out of Washington with a win. Defensively, if they're going to have to find ways to get pressure on Jaden Daniels. They're one of the worst sack teams in the league, and they're one of the worst rush defense teams in the league as well. That could be a problem as Washington sports the #1 rush offense. Speaking of Washington and the rush offense, that's where you start. You want to dominate this game in the trenches. I just mentioned the Bears having one of the worst rush defenses in football. The Commanders sport the #1 rush offense. That is a big, massive advantage. You have to take advantage of that opportunity. If you're Washington, Jaden Daniels playing in his 2nd consecutive game after missing 2 with an injury. He looked sharp last week. He's going to be a part of that run game, but he can also throw the football, and he looked his best of the season last week against the Chargers. We're looking for that to continue in this game against the Bears defense that has been opportunistic, have taken the ball away in the secondary. But again, Jaden Daniels, one of the better quarterbacks at protecting the football, but also exploiting defenses. There will be opportunities, especially if the Commanders can establish the run offensively. There will be opportunities for him to push the football down the field. Defensively, the Commanders have been really good against running backs this season. They haven't been the best against quarterbacks that are mobile. Caleb Williams, is mobile. Also, the Commanders have struggled giving up explosive plays and runs to the perimeter, something that the Bears are probably going to look to exploit. If they can limit the Bears' run game, which has not been very good this season, and then get them into long down and distances and apply pressure to Caleb Williams, they will have a chance to not only win this game, but win it going away and dominate this football game. The Commanders are the better team despite not having the most talent in this game. And if they can go out and do the things that they're capable of doing, eliminate the mistakes, similar to what I just said about Buffalo, if you just play a clean game, play your game, you're the better team, you should come out victorious. I've got the Commanders winning the game 33-20 tonight against the Chicago Bears. So let's go ahead and take a look at these two games using the sleeper app. So we'll get to the skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
The skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
All right, so Sleeper is a fantasy, sports, and real money gaming app that focuses on bringing people together through sports and gaming. This has become one of my go-tos every single week to add extra enjoyment and excitement to my football watching experience. And you can experience it too. So many of you are already out there doing so. If you're not, here's an opportunity for you to get on the bandwagon. There's plenty of space. Go to the description of this video where you will find a link. Click that link and it will take you to where you can download the Sleeper app. Once you've done that, use the promo code LTN to get you 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. That's right, a dollar for dollar match. You put in 100, they're going to give you an additional 100 to use on the app. So with that said, it's October. They've got a special promo on top of this one where if you just download the app, $20 free for you to use on the app. Who doesn't like free, right? So make it happen. Download the Sleeper app. Check to make sure it's available and you can use it in your area. It's available in over 25 states in the U.S. So check it out. Let's go have some fun. So let's look at this. This is a great app, so user-friendly. You're going to see it on my screen as I go through it. So we're going to click on the NFL. We've got two games tonight. We're going to start with the Buffalo-Atlanta game, and we're going to see if we can go make us some money tonight. So I always like to see if there are any promos that are available. So I'm going to scroll through here. They've got a couple promos here. A boost there for Shakir, a boost there for Bijan Robinson, a boost for Jaden Daniels, a boost for Roma Dunze. So there's some boosts in here that we may be able to take advantage of. So we'll take a look at that. But let's go through the hot picks for the Buffalo-Atlanta game first. James Cook, anytime touchdown. He's usually a bet to score. Bijan, same thing. Even though he hasn't been as prolific a touchdown scorer this year, anytime he's playing in a game, it's just certain backs I always tell you guys about, whether it's Bijan, James Cook, Devin Achane, like Josh Jacobs. These are guys that, you know, Jonathan Taylor and Indy. These are guys that you just feel like every week they're going to score, right? So probably end up taking both of those dudes here tonight, but let's keep going and see what else is here. Josh Allen, 34 rush yards. He's had 34 or more rush yards in 3 out of the 5 contests this season. Each of the last 2 games, he's had over 30. I don't know if Atlanta's defense is going to make him run, but sometimes it's not even about making him run. It's just about the opportunity presenting itself. And there were opportunities when they played the Commanders and Marcus Mariota just didn't take them. I could see Josh Allen with a 27-yard run tonight. And if he gets a 27-yard run, he's going to have over 35 yards rushing. I could easily see that. You got the 2 tight ends there. You got Pitts on the yard catches. You got Dalton Kincaid on the yards. All right. So just taking it all in, seeing what's at my disposal. All right. So I know I'm going to do the 2 touchdowns. I'm going to take a touchdown for each of the running backs. Just feel really confident that they're each going to touch pay dirt tonight. I'm going to stay away from the passing yards. They're going to stay away from the rush yards, even though Josh Allen at 34.5 sounds really good. I'll come back to that. I don't want Bijan's rush yards. But James Cook's rush yards might be interesting. I see him having a field day against this Falcons defense. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take him on the rush yards. I'm going to take him on the rush yards as well. I think this is a big night for him. So got him on a touchdown, got him on the rush yards. You know I love receiving yards and receptions. So Bijan for 32. The Bills are banged up at the linebacker position. Feel like he could take advantage. He had over 100 on Washington. But then before that, he wasn't really killing in the receiving game. But he's in 3 of the 4 games, he's had over the 32.5. What are we doing here? Let's take Bijan on the receiving yards, man. Let's not overthink it. Let's see. All right. So we're good there. Let's go to receptions and see what we can make of this. Does anybody stick out? I just need Joshua Palmer to catch 2 passes. Maybe he won't do it, but this is my expect the unexpected. So give me Josh Palmer for 2 catches. And let's see. I think we're going to stick with that. Rush attempts. I said it's a big James Cook night. If they get up big, he's going to get the football. I already did him on the anytime touchdown, but it's more for the rush attempts than it is for the rush. Well, they wouldn't mess with my touchdowns. They would mess with my rush yards. It's not that much bigger. But it is more if I get him on the rush attempts than the yards. So I'm going to swap that out. Oh, they let me do all 3 of them. Let me see. Yeah, they let me. I think it's a big James Cook night. So as you can see, I'm heavy on James Cook right now. And then, let's see. Josh Allen on yards rushing and passing. Because if it's a big James Cook night, they may not need Josh Allen to be, super impactful with the pass yards. All right. All right, let's see. Shards. We got to get some more receiving yards in here. Or receptions. You know how I like to get down. Let's see who they got for anytime touchdowns. We already got 2 guys. Who else do we think could score? Boy, if we pick a Curtis Samuel to score tonight, that's going to boost him or Elijah Moore. I could see them getting down in the red zone and getting like a jet sweep to Curtis Samuel or throwing a little quick pass to Curtis Samuel out of the backfield when they get down in the red zone. I really could. But it's so risky. That could mess up my whole ticket. You know what I mean? But you got to expect the unexpected. It's either going to be one of these tight ends, Curtis Samuel or Elijah Moore. In addition to James Cook, one of those guys is going to score. You just got to pick the right one. Going with my guy, Kurtko. He scored last week against New England. I think he's going to score again this week. That's going to complete my ticket right there. Let's see what we got. Bunch of Bijan, a bunch of James Cook, a Josh Palmer, and a Curtis Samuel touchdown. So there you have it. I got 7. I might as well just go get Josh Allen for the rush yards. Why the hell not? I might as well. Give me the Josh Allen rush yards. I'm already at 7. I might as well make it a cool 8, a full ticket, and just see what happens. So I've got Bijan anytime touchdown, James Cook anytime touchdown, James Cook over 74.5 rush yards. I think he's going to have a big night, as you can see. Bijan over 32.5 receiving yards. Josh Palmer 2 catches. James Cook 16.5 rush attempts. I think he's going to run the football tonight because they're going to be up and they're going to hand the ball off. Curtis Samuel, I think he's going to have a touchdown tonight, and Josh Allen is going to run for over 34.5 yards. So let's submit this. I'm going to bet $15 with a chance to win $780. All right, that one's in. Next, let's get to the other game of the night. Commanders and Bears. So we start with the hot picks, hot picks. Bill, anytime, that feels right to me. Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift, receptions, Jaden Daniels, passing yards. This feels like a big run game, right? Don't know if he'll, eclipse that. They're trying to entice me. It feels like a trap. They want me to bite. I don't know if I'm gonna bite that one or not. But I am, again, much like I am in the first game, heavy on the running backs. I am heavy on the running backs in this particular game. So let's start, or not running backs. I'm heavy on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, our guy Bill. So rush yards. I'm taking Bill on the rush yards. I probably could take Jaden Daniels on the rush yards, but I'm not going to do that. I'm probably going to take Debo on the rushing yards and receiving yards combined. Let's see what that number is. I'm taking Bill on a rush touchdown. I should take him on anytime. Let's see the difference. 1.73 on the rush. Anytime is 1 point. So it's a little bit less on the anytime because he could catch a screen and go. They like to throw it to him out of the backfield now. But if he scores, more likely than not, it's going to be a rush touchdown. So I'm going to take him on the rush touchdown. Debo, rush and receiving. Let's see what that looks like. 71. I like that. He hasn't had, with what we've got in the lineup, feels like he's got to have that type of night again. So I'm going to go ahead and take Debo on that because he's probably going to touch it out of the backfield at least once, I believe. DJ Moore feels like another one that I probably should take. They're probably going to get him on a jet sweep in this game at some point. They're probably going to give it to him out of the backfield and we're probably not going to stop it. It's going to be like a gain of 8 or 18, and he's going to catch the football, right? So I'm going to take him on the yards receiving and rushing in this game. All right. So let's see. Let's get to receptions. I like to live here. Swift, nope. Rome Odunze, nope. Even though I could see him. Where the tight ends at for the Bears? They're not here. Why are you hiding the tight ends from me? Because they the ones I think going to eat tonight. Why are you hiding the tight ends from me? Now, one of them is, questionable or whatever. Colson Loveland, he's going to play. Don't hide them tight ends from me. You know we got tight end problems. Receiving yards. Let's see if they in here. Cole Kmet, 20 yards. That feels like a slam dunk. He's going to have 20 yards receiving tonight. Olamide Zaccheaus, where's his catches? Was he not in there? Did I pass him? He's a third down machine for them. 2.5. That feels like easy money. He's going to have at least 3 catches tonight. I'm going to take Olamide Zaccheaus on the catches. That's who he looks for on third downs. Let's see. I was at what? Receiving yards. The Bears tight ends. Colson Loveland, 18.5. And Cole Kmet. Boy, I want to take both of those dudes. They're giving Luke some respect now. Bill, are they not gonna let me take? I've already got. Do I have him for anything? Yeah, I got him for rush yards. What's the number for? They won't let me take him for rush yards and receiving yards. Oh, yes, they will. Sweet. He's gonna have more than 10 yards receiving. So add him to the mix. I think they let me do that. Let me see. Yeah, good. All right. So Jalen Lane, 17.5. That's intriguing. He had what, 1 catch last week for 16? Yeah, I just can't do it. He hasn't had any game. He had 1 game where he had more than 17 yards, 18 yards. 1 game, and that was against Atlanta. I'm not. And you know, I always do that, and then tonight would be the night that Jalen Lane has 37 yards receiving, right? Matter of, like, it feels like Ertz has to bounce back. Should I take his yards or should I take his catches? He had nothing last week. There's no way that's happening again. What's more likely? He gets 4 catches or he gets, what was it, 30 yards? I'm going with yards. Ertz bounce back game. Give me Ertz yards. Bounce back game for him. And then let's see. They want me to take this Jaden pass yards. This defense ain't Green Bay. In every game, he's been over 230 this season that he's played, except for the Green Bay game. This ain't the Green Bay defense. Cliff's going to throw the ball. Cliff's going to throw the ball. So let's see where I'm at. I got Bill all over this thing. I got Debo for combined rush. I got DJ Moore combined. I got Olamide for more than 2 catches. We got to change it to 10. We had 100. I got 8. See, that's way too many picks for just $187. We need to scrap this whole thing and start over. We need to scrap this whole thing. Ain't no way. Let's kill this whole thing. Ain't no way. We got 8 picks and we only winning $180. No way. All right, so we gonna start with Bill again. Rush yards for Bill. We're gonna start there. What has DeAndre done this season? Not much. They try to entice me to take him. They lowered his number down to 4. You can only take 1 promo though. And if I'm gonna take 1, it'll be Jaden on the pass yards. So we going Debo. We going anytime touchdown, Bill. We are going to do that. Hold on, let me look at one of these other anytime touchdowns. That might be the key to getting this thing to boost up. Half of these dudes ain't even playing. So can Luke make it 3 weeks in a row? I highly doubt that. Matter of fact, he didn't score last week. It was 2 weeks prior to last week, and then he didn't score last week. Ertz feels like I'm doubling down on Ertz tonight. Give me a Ertz anytime. Give me a Bill anytime. I'm going DJ rush and pass, receiving. Debo rush and receiving. And I'm going Ertz. I'm doubling down on Ertz and Olamide Zaccheaus. All right. Now I feel more comfortable. How many I got? 7. Let's add Jaden in for the cherry on the top. Let's go get him. They enticing me to go Jaden pass yards to boost me. Oh, it took it down. Hold on a second. Yeah, take that off. Yeah, leave that alone. All right, I'm gonna just stay with where I'm at. Go 15. That's perfect. I got Bill for rush yards. I got Ertz anytime touchdown. Bill anytime touchdown. DJ Moore 50 and a half rush and receiving yards. Debo 71 and a half rush and receiving yards. Ertz 3.5 catches. I think he's going to bounce back this week. And Olamide Zaccheaus for 3 catches. Let's get active. All right. See if they got a promo for me. Nope, they don't. 7 picks for a chance to win $530. I see somebody talking about Luke. The only reason I'm not messing around with Luke is they upped his number, right? He had the big catch last week. So that's 3 weeks in a row. Luke has started to, make a little bit of noise. It was at 17.5. It was at, I think, 13.5 just a month ago. Then it was at 17.5 for the 2 weeks or so. Then he had the 50-yarder last week. Now it's up to 20-something. Now you're living dangerous, right? So let's leave him right where he is. It'd be nice if he did it again. Then I may have enough confidence to be like, yeah, no, Luke's going to do it. But help is about to arrive. His role is going to diminish. Ertz got to have a bounce back. That's the way my mind is working right now. Ertz is bouncing back. Let's do it. All right, we got our picks for the 2 games. So, big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. And I may even go back later before these games start. If hopefully I don't have enough time on my hands to do this. But
The Skill Game, brought to you by Sleeper.
I may go back later and combine the 2 games and just get a couple of picks that I absolutely love from both games, combine them, smash them together, and see what happens. But hopefully I don't have enough time on my hands to go back and do that. But I may go back and do that anyway. But big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the stream. Remember, if you don't already have the app, go download it. Use my promo code LTN to get you 100% match in your first deposit up to $100. So I got a super chat here from Cruisin26 who writes, Dub Bears, go Bears. Hey, Cruisin, mind your business, bruh. This ain't got nothing to do with you. You not doing nothing in this division. Why stop me, right? You down there at the bottom where you belong. You fight with Dallas down there at the bottom, right? You fight with Dallas. You worry about Dallas. That's who's a real competitor for you, okay? Leave me alone, Cruisin. Let me go be great, okay? Let me go be great, all right? Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on The Skill Game, brought to you by Sleeper. I'll see you guys for the post game. Remember, I'll be over on Bleacher Report first, and then I will make my way over to my channel, and we will talk for however long it takes for us to either celebrate or commiserate misery. Either way, we will be live later on tonight. I am going to be on with the Commanders Kings here in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Take care. Peace.